Okay, I'm going to do my best here to do notes in little snippets this year instead of big old long things. So, AP statistics is going to be our first unit. So, what we have to understand is basically we're going to break this course down into two parts. We have first semester and second semester. First semester, we're just going to deal with descriptive statistics. Okay, we are going to learn how to collect data. What types of things are we collecting? We need to organize that, create summary information, and talk about all the different graphs that we're going to do. And from that, we're going to throw a little probability in there as well for the descriptive. Second semester is all about inferential statistics. So we're going to take that sample of individuals and we're going to attempt then to cast that upon the results of that and cast it upon a population and make an inference about that population. So, but we have to learn how to deal with the data first, and so that's the descriptive statistics that we're going to do now. This first lesson's a little bit, it has our basics in it. Okay, we're going to find out that AP statistics is a very vocabulary-laden class. As far as if we can understand the vocabulary, that's half the battle, and then what we do with that after that. But any characteristics whose value can change is going to be considered a variable. It changes from one individual to another. So examples here listed are brand of television, height of a building, number of students in a class. Okay, so we have to remember that the individual is all the people we are collecting data from. Shouldn't say all the people. People collected. If we put all of those people together, that's going to be the population. Okay. So again, there's some other words in there that. Oops, it looks like I cut that off. Zoom that out a little bit. Who knows? Let's zoom in. Let's go the others out. All right. Now I botched that a little bit, so let's try this again. The individual is all the single people from my population. So all the people in my population. The individual is the specific person I collect information from. Okay. There we go. So from there, though, we're going to go on to page 2, and we're going to talk about our different types of variables. Okay. So if we get that centered in the right spot, we're talking about our different types of variables. This particular chapter has to deal with univariate data. Uni is our prefix for one, so we're only going to go with one variable. Okay. Categorical. We have different names for this. Categorical, numerical kind of go together. The other name for categorical is qualitative. Okay, in this particular case, we are going to think labels because observations are categorical responses, okay, or labels. Brown hair, left-handed, leather interior, all those are labels. The other type of variable is going to be numerical, or it is quantitative. And those are going to be something that has a unit. Okay, I'm going to measure it typically. So when we yeah. So our two types of numerical data when we get there. Back up a second. As far as getting to qualitative or quantitative, if we are asked to find a variable, and actually we'll do that down below, so I will actually let that ride. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So when we talk about numerical data, there's two types of numerical data. There's going to be a discrete and continuous. Numerical data is considered discrete if possible values are isolated points on a number line. Okay, so if we talk about the number of people in classes around the building, okay, there are 13 people in my class. There are 15 people in the class next door. Okay, those are, I can't have 13 and a half people. So discrete is going to be our counting numbers. Okay, here we go. Examples, again, were students in classroom, number of pets, Okay. Numerical data is continuous if possible values can be any value on a number line. So age would be one as far as granted I've been 48 years old for a long time now, but we could get more specific. We could go down to days, we could go down to weeks, hours, seconds, etc. So I can narrow that down. If I'm measuring the length of a table, okay, yes, it might be 48 inches long. However, it could be 48 inches and 48 and 1/8 inches long. There's some variance to that, and so we could just depending on how specific we wanted to be. Okay. Same thing with weight. Weight would be another variable that is going to be considered a continuous variable because we can land between. I can weigh 215.5 pounds. Okay. So therefore that falls between integer values. So therefore it's going to make it continuous. So down here in example 1, suppose all MHS students took a survey on advisory on Wednesday. We take a random sample of 5 of those MHS students and have the following data. Okay, we want to identify as quantitative, numerical or discrete, or qualitative. So remember, and this is the part about AP statistics is we have to kind of grasp is we have different words that we can use, different ways to say things. It's all fair game. So we have to remember that quantitative is going to be numerical and that qualitative is going to be categorical. Okay, so actually, this is a typo. It's not going to be numerical or discrete. It's going to be continuous or discrete. All right, so we're going to look at country of birth. Okay, is it a categorical variable or it is a numerical variable? Okay, and typically, again, is it going to have a label or a unit? In this case, it has a label. United States is a label. If we're struggling to do this, it's kind of easy to go with an average. And then if your average statement makes sense. So for example, I am going to find the average country of birth. Average country of birth doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm going to go, that means that this has to be a categorical variable, which we knew already. Okay. I'm going to find the average gender. Well, there is no average gender. Again, it's a categorical variable. I'm going to find the average number of languages spoken by advisory students. That makes complete sense. So that means that is something I can find an average for, so that's going to make it numerical. Now, if it is numerical, then we have to classify that as continuous or discrete. And since we have specific, we either speak a language or we don't, this is going to be one of those cases where we're not going to speak a half a language, even though I guess you could look at it as far as how well you speak a language, but we will consider this discrete. Handedness. The typical number of individuals, the average the hand dominance of individuals in advisory has an average of right. No, doesn't make sense. So that means this is also a categorical variable. Height in inches. The average height of a person in advisory is average height. We can do that. So that makes it a numerical variable. Again, because we're going to measure this makes it a continuous variable. And again, if we look at this, they gave me a unit up here, minutes. So when they're giving us that unit, it also is a clue that it's numerical. But can I find the average number of minutes it takes to get to school? I can. So that means this is going to be numerical. And minutes. So again, because we don't, there's a long time between 12 minutes and 13 minutes, we can have something in there. That's going to make this a continuous variable. All right then. So there's video number 1 knocked out. So we'll start page 3 in the next video.